Well, I come home on a Saturday night as drunk as I could be, and there was a hat upon the rack where my hat ought to be. So I said to my wife, the curse of my life, explain this thing to me. Whose is that hat upon the rack where my hat ought to be? Oh, you're drunk, you fool, you silly old fool, you're as drunk as a sot can be. It's not a hat upon the rack, but a chamber pot, you see. Oh, I've traveled this wide world over 10,000 miles or more, but a Jerry with a hat band on, oh, I never saw before. Well, I come home on a Saturday night as drunk as I could be, and there was a horse in the stable where my horse ought to be. So I said to my wife, the curse of my life, explain this thing to me. Whose is that horse in the stable where my horse ought to be? Oh, you're drunk, you fool, you silly old fool, you're as drunk as a cunt can be. That's not a horse in the stable, but a milch cow, you do see. Well, I've traveled this wide world over 10,000 miles or more, but a milch cow with a saddle on I never saw before. Oh, well, I come home on a Saturday night as drunk as I could be, and there was a head on the pillow where my head ought to be. So I said to my wife, the curse of my life, explain this thing to me. Whose is that head lying there where my head ought to be? Oh, you're drunk, you fool, you silly old fool, you're as drunk as a souse can be. That's not a head on the pillow, but a football, you do see. Well, I've traveled this wide world over 10,000 miles or more, but a football with a mustache on, oh, I never saw before. Well, I come home on a Saturday night as drunk as I could be, and there was a cock inside my bed where my cock ought to be. So I said to my wife, the curse of my life, explain this thing to me. Whose is that cock standing there where my cock ought to be? Oh, you're drunk, you fool, you silly old fool, you're as drunk as a cunt can be. It's not a cock standing there, but a carrot, you do see. Well, I've traveled this wide world over 10,000 miles or more, but a carrot with bollocks on I never saw before. Oh, well, I come home on a Saturday night as drunk as I could be, and there was a stain on the counterpane, but it didn't come from me. So I said to my wife, the curse of my life, explain this thing to me. Whose is that stain on the counterpane which didn't come from me? Oh, you're drunk, you fool, you silly old fool, you're as drunk as a cunt can be. That's not a stain on the counterpane, but some baby's milk, you see. Well, I've traveled this wide world over 10,000 miles or more, but baby's milk that smelt like cum I never saw before. And I come home on a Saturday night as drunk as I could be, and there was a woman inside my bed where my dear wife should be. So I said to that woman, who wasn't bad looking, explain this thing to me. Who are you a-lying there where my dear wife should be? You're drunk, you fool, you silly old fool, you're as drunk as a cunt can be. This ain't your house, I ain't your wife, you're not living it all with me. Well, I've traveled this wide world over 10,000 miles or more. It's the 5th time that I've stuffed this bird. She ain't never complained before.
The Travel, of course, is a version of Our Good Man, one of the most widespread Bawdy songs in the entire English language, in Australia and Canada, America. One of the very few child ballads I've ever known to get into the blues repertoire. This particular version I learned from the Hash House Harrier hymnal, and it is exactly the same with one exception as the version in the first rugby songbook, Why Was He Born So Beautiful. The last verse has been added by some hasher, some genius hasher, who has the women get their own back a little bit. I don't think it will ever be known who wrote that last verse. I don't get much occasion to sing the song. I sing it to myself when I can. There was no tune in the book or no indicator, and I've just pretty much made up a generic tune of other versions of the song. The first printed version of any version is in Herd, 1776.